Hello everyone and welcome to my The Bold Fans channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The Bold and the Beautiful BNB report for the week of August 10th to 14th indicates that one couple may be engaged, while another couple is dealing with mother-in-law issues. There will also be some nice distractions, so here's what fans should expect. For starters, RJ Forrester, Brian Nicoletti, will persuade Electra Forrester, Lania Grace, to launch a new youth line at Forrester Creations to help them grow their business. Steffi Forrester Finnegan, Jacqueline McInnes Wood, will be in Monaco with similar aims, as she hopes to strengthen the foreign market, especially given the public setbacks they've been fighting to overcome. After assisting Steffi with business matters, Ridge Forrester, Torsten Kay, and Brooke Logan Forrester, Catherine Kelly Lang, will find time for some Monaco romance. Nonetheless, Brooke will receive some terrible information that will put her on edge. Fanny Grayson, LCS Nolt, will contact you about anything, which might include finalizing a contract with Logan. While Ridge tries to divert Brooke's attention away from Katie Logan Spencer's Heather Tom latest business venture, Daphne Rose Walton, Muriel Hilaire, and Carter Walton, Lawrence St. Victor, ponder on their deep love for one another. Carter will believe that love can help them get through anything, including Daphne's awful prognosis. According to BNB teasers, Carter will give Daphne a pep talk about various options for parenthood in the hopes of convincing her of their family's bright future. John Finn Finnegan, Tanner Novlin, will ask Sheila Carter, Kimberlyn Brown, to keep her distance from Steffi. Sheila appears to be willing to compromise, so Finn hopes to visit his birth mother on a flight back to Los Angeles soon. Finn presumably won't inform Steffi that Sheila is joining him on the plane, so they'll have a great reunion and some time to recharge. Unfortunately, Sheila will not maintain her pledge to remain away, so it won't be long until Steffi spots her and becomes enraged. Finn will understand things are out of control when Steffi marches in and starts a furious argument. However, behind-the-scenes signs point to something spectacular happening before the Monaco vacation concludes. Steffi will have an emotional reaction to something, which could coincide with a heroic Sheila moment. If Steffi is suddenly threatened, Sheila may save the day and eventually persuade Steffi that she deserves some family visits after all. Back in Los Angeles, Deacon Sharp, Sean Cannon, plans to surprise Taylor Hayes, Rebecca Budig, with a marriage proposal. Will Taylor agree and give them some engagement news to share soon? According to the Bold and the Beautiful spoilers, Deacon will be anxiously awaiting Taylor's response, so don't miss what happens next. The week of August 10th to 14th on The Bold and the Beautiful was one of the most emotionally charged in recent memory, combining high-stakes international intrigue, unexpected heroics, bold romantic gestures, and the quiet unraveling of several carefully constructed relationships. The Forresters' business trip to Monaco swiftly devolved into personal catastrophe, while back in Los Angeles, quiet moments of connection and confrontation transformed the lives of those left behind. The episodes proceeded with patient intensity, allowing each storyline to breathe while intersecting in unexpected ways that left both characters and spectators reeling. In Monaco, the main focus was on Steffi Forrester and Finn. The pair had thought that the trip would serve two purposes: to expand Forrester Creations' European presence and to give them time to reconnect after months of stress. Steffi arrived first, lured by the memories of the chapel where Finn had once dramatically revealed he was still alive after she had assumed he had died. She called him and agreed to meet there, expecting a private, meaningful reunion. Finn consented and boarded his aircraft with the full intention of keeping the experience between them. That plan crumbled when he noticed Sheila Carter had somehow secured the seat next to him. Sheila's presence was not accidental. After discovering Finn's schedule, she followed him across the Atlantic, rejecting every warning Steffi had given about staying away from the family. Finn spent most of the flight trying to contain the damage. He persuaded Sheila to remain out of sight once they had arrived, even pledging to keep her arrival hidden from Steffi if she simply turned around and returned home. Sheila listened, but her obsession with her son and inability to accept permanent exile meant that any meaningful agreement was only ephemeral. By the time they arrived in Monaco, The fragile calm that Finn had wanted to establish had already crumbled. Steffi's greatest fears were realized when she saw Sheila in the very location she had chosen for reunion. The meeting became physical almost immediately. Years of betrayal, gunfire, and broken trust erupted in a confrontation that went beyond words. Steffi's life was in grave danger during the commotion that ensued on the beach. The exact nature of the threat was veiled by the unfolding events, but the end was clear. Sheila intervened. Against all expectations, the woman Steffi had spent years attempting to remove from their life was the one who drew her back from the brink. Steffi and Finn were astonished at the act. Finn had long claimed that Sheila was capable of changing, that some maternal instinct remained beneath the pandemonium. Steffi hadn't believed it. Now she had to bear with the realization that the person she disliked the most had just saved her life. The emotional fallout dominated the second half of the week. Steffi found herself crying for entire scenes, overcome by the collision of gratitude, wrath, and lingering horror. Finn remained close, attempting to maintain the delicate balance between them while still handling his mother's constant presence. Their reunion at the church occurred, but it bore the weight of everything that had come before it. The moment they anticipated would be pure and redemptive became laden with unanswered concerns about forgiveness, boundaries, and whether some debts can ever truly be returned. Steffi's emotions had boiled over by Friday's episode, with a cumulative strain of danger, unexpected salvation, and Sheila's lingering shadow leaving her raw and unsure about what would happen next in their marriage. While the Forresters dealt with the crisis abroad, life in Los Angeles continued with its own set of seismic shifts. Deacon Sharp, who had recently divorced Sheila, focused his undivided attention on Taylor Hayes. The two had been cultivating a deliberate, calm bond for some time, free of the incessant drama that typically surrounded them. With Steffi and Finn gone, they had the house and their time mostly to themselves. Deacon felt the time had come to stop orbiting the concept of a future and say it out loud. On Wednesday he made his move. The actual phrasing of the proposition remained carefully worded throughout the episodes, but the aim was clear. Whether he asked Taylor to marry him or to take the tangible step of moving in together, the gesture had the weight of a life-changing commitment. Taylor's reaction was complete shock. Their emotional bond had grown swiftly, but the practical reality of joining lives felt strange. She inquired if he was serious, scanning his face for any signs of hesitancy. Deacon remained stable. For a man whose life had been marked by difficult relationships and public controversies, choosing Taylor and asking her to choose him in return felt like the clearest decision he'd taken in a long time. The response she eventually gave would influence the next chapter of both of their lives, and the audience was left to observe the silent intensity of two individuals debating whether to jump. Will continued to make a purposeful move away from Electra Forrester and toward Melissa Dillon. Katie Logan had expressed her concerns within time, warning her son that Dylan's sudden appearance and obsessive involvement in the family appeared premeditated. Will listen without truly hearing. His and Dylan's relationship had already reached physical levels, and it deepened even more this week. They spent a night together, leaving little doubt about the path of their relationship. Will's past entanglement with Electra, which was already damaged, appeared to be irreparable. Electra, for her part, did not fall into seclusion. Instead, she relied on RJ's unexpected assistance. Forrester. What began as friendship and business partnership became more personal as the week proceeded. RJ Electra have promise that went beyond comfort. With the hope for the future line effectively discontinued, Forrester Creations sought to find a new route for its younger audience. RJ became convinced that Electra could be the face and creative force of a new youth line. He offered the notion to her with real enthusiasm, citing her modeling ability, eye for design, and her natural fit into the Forrester world. Electra hesitated, still digesting the end of her relationship with Will, but the chance and RJ's unwavering conviction in her started to change something. Their collaboration evolved from a practical obstacle to one that bore the first hushed notes of possibility. Katie refused to accept Dylan's rising influence without further research. Investigating the other woman's past, She discovered ties that generated more problems than they answered, including a previous involvement with Remy Price. Katie was ready to employ the fresh ammunition she had gained from the information. Will's willingness to listen remained an unresolved question. His father Bill and others had previously advised him to cut ties with Elektra and go elsewhere. Katie's fears about Dylan only added to an already complicated young man's dilemma. In a quieter but equally devastating corner of the canvas, Daphne struggled with a diagnosis that had shattered her ambitions of having biological children. The infertility news had hung over her marriage to Carter like a thick fog. Even regular delight felt tainted with sorrow. Anything that reminded her of infants or pregnancy made the anguish worse. Carter remained steadfast, offering presents above hollow promises. On Thursday, Daphne told him how much she loved him again, the confession tinged with thankfulness as well as worry that her inability to bear him a child might cost them everything. Carter reacted on Friday with a clear promise. He would support her through whatever happened next. The specifics of that assistance remained unclear, but the pledge itself appeared to alleviate some of Daphne's isolation. There were whispers that back home from Monaco, Steffi may consider donating herself as an egg donor, an idea Daphne had previously rejected. The conversation awaited the appropriate moment, but the emotional foundation was being constructed. Zen's return to Forrester Creations created another layer of professional insecurity. With the hope for the future line put on hold, he struggled to find his place among the company's shifting priorities. Conversations with Carter and other family members began to sketch out possible new directions, but nothing had been finalized by the end of the week. The sense of displacement was real, a reminder that Forrester's business decisions always had personal ramifications for the people whose identities were inextricably linked to the company. Ridge and Brooke's storyline paralleled the Monaco turmoil despite sharing the same geographical location. The European tour was intended to strengthen international partnerships and project capabilities. Instead, Brooke received distressing personal news from Fanny, which directed her attention inward. Ridge answered in the only manner he knew how, by attempting to distract her with romance. Their lengthy, convoluted history gave every gesture added weight. The way he looked at her, the conscious effort to establish moments of connection amidst the professional pressure, indicated that he was still interested in retrieving something that had frequently slipped through their fingers. The question of whether Brooke could truly meet him in that space while dealing with her own private sorrow remained unanswered, but the romantic undercurrent was undeniable. By the end of the week, the numerous threads had tightened rather than resolved. Steffi carried the complicated knowing that Sheila had saved her life, as well as the equally complicated understanding that Sheila continued to pose a threat. Finn stood between them, hoping that the act of heroism would open a door he had long longed to open, but yet knowing that Steffi's trust would be difficult to regain. Deacon and Taylor stood on the verge of a fresh commitment, the air between them tinged with possibility and caution. Will and Dylan delved further into each other's lives, while Katie honed her inquiry and Elektra began to envision a different kind of future with RJ's encouragement. Carter and Daphne held on to each other over a difficult grieving process. Ridge continued to reach for Brooke despite the distance caused by past wounds and new challenges. The bold and the beautiful has always thrived on the intersection of personal desire and familial loyalty, and how one person's desperate deed may rewrite the emotional math for everyone around them. This week brought those collisions with a particular force. An engagement shocker, or at least a clear proposal for a shared future, arrived without fanfare but had long-lasting ramifications. Mother-in-law mayhem occurred not only in the expected form of interference, but also in the far more upsetting form of unexpected salvation. Romantic diversions proliferated throughout the canvas, some providing true solace while others promising only more complications. The characters departed the week altered, some by risk and reluctant gratitude, others by the calm bravery of choosing connection over uncertainty. As always, the plot moved forward, with the next set of consequences already on the horizon. The week of August 10th to 14th on The Bold and the Beautiful features a series of high-stakes emotional upheavals, unexpected heroics, and interpersonal transformations that affect the Forrester, Spencer, and Logan families. What began as a planned business vacation to Monaco swiftly devolved into a personal crisis, while in Los Angeles, quieter but equally transformative actions reshaped love destinies and familial connections. The episodes strike a mix between worldwide glamour and intimate domestic reckonings, testing the characters' long-standing loyalty. The Monaco storyline revolves around Sheila Carter's unwavering determination to remain close to her son. After discovering Finn's travel intentions, she joins the same flight, disregarding every limit Steffi had set. Finn attempts damage control mid-air, persuading his mother to avoid Steffi until they land and promises to keep her presence hidden in exchange for her cooperation. The promise is fragile. Spoilers reveal that Sheila and Steffi will not remain separated in Monaco. Their argument develops past words and into physical danger, confirming Steffi's greatest concerns about Sheila's unwillingness to respect boundaries. However, the story takes an unexpected turn when Steffi's life is unexpectedly threatened. Sheila steps in to save Steffi from certain death. The rescue does not end years of enmity, but it pushes Steffi and Finn to confront the notion that Sheila's maternal instincts can emerge even in the midst of catastrophe. Steffi feels split between thankfulness for her survival and the realization that Sheila's presence threatens to jeopardize the stability of her husband and family. By the conclusion of the week, Steffi is visibly burdened with emotion. Her reunion with Finn at a significant Monaco landmark compounded by the unresolved weight of Sheila's intervention. While Finn and Steffi navigate danger and uncertain reconciliation overseas, Deacon Sharp seizes the opportunity created by their absence. Deacon, now free of his marriage to Sheila, decides to expedite his relationship with Taylor Hayes. On Wednesday, he makes a life-altering proposal. The particular nature of the question varies significantly depending on the source. Some suggest a formal marriage proposal, others an invitation to move in together. But the goal is clear. Deacon seeks a fresh start free of the burdens of his previous marriage. Taylor was caught off guard. The two had gotten closer in recent weeks, but the unexpected leap is risky. Their growing dynamic takes place mostly in private, away from the Monaco turmoil, so when Finn and Steffi return, they may discover a totally different status quo at home. The development provides Taylor with a road ahead after years of tangled romantic history, while Deacon has the opportunity to re-establish himself outside of Sheila's shadow. Parallel romantic realignments occur among the younger generation. Will Spencer's relationship with Electra Forrester has reached a breaking point. As the two grow apart, Will turns to Melissa Dillon. Their relationship grows stronger, ending in a night together that effectively ends any immediate reunion with Electra. Katie Logan watches the shift with growing suspicion. She investigates Dillon's background and discovers a previous connection to Remy Price, which might disrupt Will's current relationship and provide Katie more ammunition in her protective position toward her family. Meanwhile, Electra finds unexpected support from R.J. Forrester. The two collaborate on a professional challenge at Forrester Creations. With Hope Logan Spencer no longer part of the Hope for the Future brand, R.J. sees an opportunity for a new youth-focused program, with Electra as both the face and creative power behind it. He complements her talent and presence, pressing her to take on a larger role. Their work begins collegially but has evident sexual potential as Electra deals with the termination of her engagement with Will. Will immediately engages in sexual contact with Dillon, whereas Electra and R.J. create something slower and more collaborative. Business demands exacerbate personal ones. During their vacation to Monaco, Ridge, Brooke, and Steffi attempt to increase Forrester Creations' international presence. The professional agenda is real, but personal undercurrents constantly emerge. Brooke receives terrible news from Fanny, adding further strain to an already hectic schedule. Ridge replies by providing a romantic distraction, diverting Brooke's attention away from both work issues and the emotional strain of the trip. Their moments together reinforce the delicate past that still links them, even as the company's European ambitions demand attention. The twin track of business strategy and private longing is typical Forrester territory, and the Monaco setting enhances every connection. In Los Angeles, Daphne is still dealing with the tremendous pain of infertility. Everyday memories of parenthood exacerbate her sorrow, even though Carter maintains a constant presence. She declares her love for him, and by Friday, Carter has promised to assist her go over the next step of their struggle. The form of such assistance remains unknown, but the commitment itself signals a watershed moment. Steffi may eventually consider egg donation as a viable option. However, such a decision would be fraught with emotional and familial complexity. Daphne's plot serves as a softer backdrop to the more explosive Monaco events, focusing the week on the intimate problems of starting a family when biology resists. Zend Forrester Dominguez returns to the company, still looking for a purpose after the hope for the future line was discontinued. Conversations with Carter and other family members may help him determine his future professional steps, but the sensation of displacement remains. His narrative highlights how Forrester's business decisions affect individual identities and desires. Taken together, the week of August 10th to 14th combines spectacle and intimacy. Sheila's desperate pursuit of Finn results in both violence and an unexpected act of rescue that may change long-held beliefs. Deacon's proposal to Taylor raises the prospect of a steady new partnership devoid of previous entanglements. Will's quick shift to Dylan and Electra's burgeoning relationship with RJ redraw the love map for the younger generation, while Katie's suspicions create new conflict. Brooke and Ridge strike a balance between business necessity and long-term attraction. Carter's pledge to Daphne confirms his quiet love under continuing grief. Each plot explores the boundaries that characters have formed around themselves, boundaries of safety, loyalty, and self-protection, and forces them to decide whether those lines are still useful or need to be rebuilt.